Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall Gruyter. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter.
Welcome, everyone. I hope you're having an absolutely amazing day. I'm excited to have you leaning in to the conversation around empowerment. We're really going to be focusing in on how to step forward powerfully in life and business. We're going to look at this from a mindset perspective, from a practical how do we do it perspective, and a leadership perspective. This is going to be a powerful, transformational conversation. So I celebrate that you're here. I welcome you, and I want you to get the most out of our time together today. So I'm going to invite you to lean in and be fully present. Take a breath with me as we connect in. Beautiful. Because when we are looking at stepping forward, we get to make choices. We get to choose what we say yes to, what we say no to, from what we're actually doing to how we're being to how we're even thinking, and who we are becoming. And I want each of you to become everything that you are called to be in your life, to be fully equipped and empowered to shine on purpose and with great purpose out in the world. So as we're thinking about being empowered, stepping forward, having that forward movement in our life, in our business, becoming more of who we want to be, more of how we want to be, more of what we want our businesses to become. What is it that would support you? What is it that you need? What is it that will equip and empower you? Some indicators that we may need a little support on the journey, because guess what? It is not a solo journey. We can get support every step along the way. We have amazing experts that are joining us, but here's some indicators that perhaps it would be helpful to have someone come alongside us, just like we're doing today. Is if we keep kind of coming up against that same edge, that same barrier. Perhaps this May is looking very familiar, a lot like last May and the May before, and some of those same things on our someday list or what we're working towards still seem to be that same distance away. Then here's an opportunity for us to get support from experts real time to help us move forward, help us bring forward those things that matter most to us. I celebrate that you're leaning into the conversation today, that you said yes to you and yes to letting us connect in with you and pour into you. And again, I want you to remember to stay fully present. And I'm going to remind you several times throughout our time together today, because it is so easy to get distracted. It's so easy to be here in body, but our mind is somewhere else doing other things. So as much as you're able to stay present, open, and ready to receive, that's going to help you get so much value out of our time together today. Those of you who are driving, please stay safe, both hands on the wheels, just inwardly tuning in. Those of you who are able to, though, let's put both feet on the ground. Feel it supporting you. Take a breath in through the nose. See how big you can make your belly? And out through your mouth, like through a straw. Beautiful. Breathe in again. Keep breathing. Breath is important. Wonderful. As you're breathing, put one hand on your heart, one hand on your head, bringing you all in. Mind, body, soul, and spirit. This kind of breathing helps bring you present. It helps bring oxygen to your entire body, which helps our thinking. It also lowers stress levels and cortisol levels so that you really can receive everything that is here today. And you can bring this breathing technique in throughout your day or throughout those projects that are stretching you a little bit. Let's, again, connect in, eyes closed, deep breathing. And in this space, I want you to think about, what is it you need today? What is it that will encourage you, empower you, support you, help you step forward? What is it that you need and are willing to receive because you have choice? See if that alters what you need a little bit, because we do get to choose what we receive. So what is it that you need and are willing to receive? Just receive that information. It can come in pictures, it can come in a scent, it can become in a memory, all different types of ways information is given to us. And I invite you to receive that. Whatever it is that you need and are willing to receive. Unattached to the how, open to how it may come. Once you have that information, come back into the room, fully present, eyes open, and write down what it is that was placed on your heart. What is it that you need and are willing to receive? I invite you to write it down. It is so easy to get distracted, to forget, to miss something that's right in front of you because you forgot. It wasn't top of mind, so let's make it top of mind. What it is you need and are willing to receive, and perhaps even are leaning in with anticipation and excitement. Because it is not an accident you tuned in today. It's not an accident you're joining us now. That means there is something here for you. There's something here that will support you and empower you on your journey. So let's take a breath. Be excited, leaning in with anticipation for all that is here that will support and empower you on your journey. And I'm going to go around our virtual room here. We have amazing experts today and their fellow hosts here on Voice America as well. So it's really an honor to have both of them on with us today. And we're going to see what was laid on their heart around this subject matter and when we stopped and paused and listened for a moment. Maureen, I would love for you to share what was laid on your heart.
Thank you, Rebecca. What an important topic, the idea of what support we need. I've come out of a time where I felt the need to be militantly independent to prove myself. And I've stepped in recently to bringing in a president of my company and also into a significant boyfriend-partner relationship. And what I'm aware of is three parts. Then I need first to be willing, so I need to ask myself to be willing to accept the support, and then both from my business partner and my boyfriend to bring their best selves to every interaction we have. That's the most I can ask, and if I am able to allow that, I am sure that my life will be more generative going forward than it was in the past.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. And boy, that support, it makes such a difference. And I love how you're inviting them to show up in your life and receiving. Really beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Chris, how about you? What was laid on your heart?
What was laid on my heart, and it's something that, I've been practicing for quite some time, but it always just comes to me in these types of moments. It's gratitude. You just, to be grateful for where I'm at. Even when I feel that I'm not where I want to be, I always, express gratitude because I know it's part of the process. And no matter where you are and where you're going, that process with that commitment, it will take you there. And having gratitude every step of the way just allows you to move within the flow, whether things are going your way or not, just trusting the process that everything that you're experiencing is going to work out in the end.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing, and what an empowered way to approach life, no matter what comes, whatever part of the process we're in, commitment to the process and continuing forth, and gratitude every step of the way, and trusting that it really is something to be thankful for, that we can move forward in. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Anytime.
Yeah, absolutely. For myself, I was really thinking about action. So often I've been having conversations lately with people that they keep talking about someday, and they're building beautiful plans and ways to get there. But there's this hesitancy around the first step. So I have, and sometimes because we can try to take too many steps at once or make it complicated. And so what I had just laid on my heart is remembering to stop and pause and breathe and see just what that first step is, what that next step is to move forward. And that was just what was laid on my heart. And I want to encourage any of you who are with that someday, the way to bring it to today is to bring it to today and start taking steps on it. As we get ready to go to our first commercial break here, I'm going to invite you to stay present. Resist the urge to run off and cross things off your to-do list. Really what these commercial breaks are, they're 2 minutes just for you. It's an opportunity for you to be still, to receive, to breathe, to integrate what is being shared with you, what is being spoken into your heart, into your spirit, into your life. So perhaps some of what Maureen shared or Chris shared or I shared has touched your heart, or you may have additional things that are being placed on your heart. I invite you, give yourself the gift of these next 2 minutes to listen, process, receive, and when we come back, we're going to dig into a powerful conversation to support you in practical and profound ways so that you can step forward in those areas that matter most to you. We look forward to talking to you in 2 minutes.
The Voice America Women's Channel.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Tune in to Patricia Raskin Positive Living on VoiceAmerica.com every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time and 11 a.m. Pacific Time. This program brings you practical and inspiring principles for living a more authentic, engaging, and passionate life. Patricia's guests will give you a formula for connecting, giving, forgiving, and miraculous living. So tune in and call in to Patricia Raskin Positive Living Mondays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time and 11 a.m. Pacific Time right here on the Voice America Variety Channel. It's practical, positive solutions for a happy, empowered, and successful life.
Have you had a chance to check out Voice America's online magazine and blog, Press Pass? If you love our hosts and shows, check out articles that give an even deeper perspective. Plus topics about health and fitness, movie reviews, philosophy, business tips and tactics, spirituality, positive thought, current events, and even more about your favorite host. It's just a click away at vapresspass.com. That's vapresspass.com. VA Press Pass by Voice America. All access, all the time.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at SpeakerTalentSearch.com. That's SpeakerTalentSearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Voice America Women's Channel, a leader in the forward movement of women's success.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-613-1612. That's 1-866-613-1612. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes, that you really gave yourself that opportunity to stop, pause, breathe, listen, receive, and integrate. You're going to have opportunities throughout the show to be able to build that pausing button and that receiving button. So look forward to those moments and opportunities. But as promised, I wanted to have a deeper conversation with each of our powerful guests so that we can really walk beside you and help you step forward powerfully in your life and in your business. So let me introduce our first guest. You heard a little bit from her on a heart level, but let me more formally introduce her. Maureen Metcalf is the CEO of Metcalf Associates. She is one of our fellow radio show hosts. She's an executive advisor, an author, and a speaker with over 30 years business experience, helping people have high impact and practical results and solutions. I say solutions that lead to high impact and amazing results. She is absolutely passionate about helping you and your business become profitable and sustainable. Please lean in and warmly welcome the amazing Maureen Metcalf to the show. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. I'm delighted to be here with you and your guests. It's quite an honor.
You are so welcome. Honored to have you joining us as well, and I'm really looking forward to all the amazing information that you've prepared for us today. So to start the conversation, I'd love to have you share why. Why is this work of helping people in this way, why is that so personally important to you?
You know, I've worked with leaders over the years who have invested so much of their energy in running their businesses and helping the organizations perform well. And they give long hours, but also much energy. And over time, what they're not doing is reinvesting in themselves, many cases. And what I've seen is leaders who are asked to leave their firms over that time, and they leave unprepared for the next job. So what they've done, in essence, is overinvest in the company, and their skills have, in essence, depreciated. As leaders, what we give is leadership skills in addition to our technical skills. And if we're not continuing to reinvest in those, we actually become less valuable over time. So most of us wouldn't consider walking around with a flip phone, maybe a few people, but most not, because they're not as effective, right? They don't give us the same stuff. And yet the same people who are so focused on investing in so many areas of their lives don't necessarily consider updating their inner operating system, how they think about leading and how they perform as leaders. And it's heartbreaking to see people who've worked so hard end up not thriving because they've invested in a way that is not well enough rounded.
Thank you for sharing this. I'd love to explore this a little bit more if you're open to that.
Sure.
So can you share just some examples? I want to make sure we're all on the same page and following all that you're sharing because it's very, very rich. Can you give an example of the inner operating system that we want to be updating? Examples of when maybe it's getting out of date and what it would be to update it?
So for me, the inner operating system is really the mindset. Mm-hmm. So if we think about the level of disruption we're seeing right now and the rate of change and what's happening in science. So we know from neuroscience that how our brains operate are different than we thought in the past. So I developed neural pathways based on habit and things like the way my brain operates is anything that was traumatic in the past, because it's focused on keeping me alive. I will put an 8 times to 10 times focus on that thing. So if something comes up, my brain will put a weight on the thing, and I will respond accordingly, physiologically and often unconsciously. So I'm attracted to some things and I'm repelled by some things that now as an adult, those weightings may be inappropriate. So part of leadership development is really becoming more conscious of what's going on inside of me, as well as trends that I need to be responding to outside. Because if my brain hijacks me, it doesn't matter how much I read. My mindset and my inner algorithm actually has to be refined on an ongoing basis so that I can be most present and most available to respond to the changes I'm facing.
Great. Thank you for sharing. And listeners, I want you to really think about this, because there are things that can be triggers for us. There are things that can hijack us. And we just operate in a certain way, and we can have blind spots. And it's not just about knowledge, but really about some of this operating system that Maureen is sharing with us. So those of you who are called to leadership or are in leadership positions or are leading and bringing something forward, it's really important to take a look at that. And are you paying attention to some of the weightings, as Maureen was sharing, that certain things have in your life? And are those running you, or are you kind of running them? Now, I know, Maureen, that you have a passion for leadership, and for women in leadership in particular. Do you mind sharing a little bit, as we're talking about skills and we're talking about wiring, a little bit of how women are really situated powerfully to lead in times of disruption and make significant change? I'd love for you to share around that.
Sure. Well, our leadership model looks at the top 7 behaviors that we think make leaders most effective. And some of those are innately female qualities, and some of those are innately male qualities. Mm-hmm. And so we believe that the most effective leader really pulls from both of those to deliver excellence. And so I'm going to read a couple out. One is innately collaborative. So I am able to, as a leader, bring together multiple points of view and encourage people from different perspectives to participate. And in that case, also help people with conflicting points of view come to a common perspective. So really, as women, we're known for being more collaborative. And also the second one is innately humble. So, as young girls, we are all often taught to defer to the group, to defer to each other, where dudes tend to have a slightly different orientation around humility. And there's a lot of great research about when women step in, they need to feel more prepared, where men need to feel less prepared. And I think often we show up as less confident, even though we could be equally competent. So for women, we need to learn how to manage the humility and still seem incredibly competent. And for men, there's a need to ratchet back the assertiveness to be more humble. And both of us need to be in action as we navigate those behaviors.
Perfect. Thank you for those examples and some of how we can use those strengths to lead and move forward. And I was talking with a leadership expert just a week or so ago on our show. So it's the one with Linda Patton, for those of you who want to go back and listen to that show. And I believe it was the end of April. But as we were talking about leadership, she was saying that a lot of times when we're looking at men and women and that confidence or that humility factor, that women feel like they have to be 80% or more qualified before they'll apply for certain positions. Whereas a lot of times in men, when they're looking at these studies, they can feel like they've got 20%, let's go and let's try it. So it's really interesting as they're seeing the behaviors out there and how if we can stretch just a little bit more and step out, we'd be able to really serve in powerful ways, especially in leadership.
And those are the statistics I was trying to remember, so thank you for sharing them. That as women, we do need to step in when we feel uncomfortable because our male counterparts are able to do that.
Exactly. And this isn't, men versus women. I just want to make sure everyone hears me in this. It's that there just are differences. And it's good to be aware of that and where maybe we're holding back a little bit and could be reaching out more and serving more. So that's more the contact. And I know that's where you're coming from, Maureen, too. So it's, it's more that we're really wanting to look at how we can stretch forward and be willing to step into that space that perhaps stretches us or feels a little bit uncomfortable, that we really are ready and we are needed. Because if so many of us are holding ourselves back, we're not sharing our gifts and our talents with the world that needs them. So I applaud that so many of our men are doing that, and would love for many of us women too to take that step and step forward too.
Thank you for saying, I work with both men and women extensively, so this is never anti-man. And often men have more female-oriented qualities, and I happen to have more male-oriented qualities. So what body I live in doesn't necessarily fully dictate my behaviors.
Yes. Beautifully said. Absolutely. And I know that you have an amazing gift that you have prepared for us, and just wanted to give you an opportunity to share about that, and then I'll let our listeners know where to find it.
Great, thank you. So our work is focused on helping leaders innovate how they lead. And I would say leader I use to mean people who also lead their own lives, lead in their community, lead in their family. So it's not a job title, it's kind of a mindset. So there's an innovative leadership framework that we work from, and the gift is an online assessment where you can look at how you would score against this set of criteria. And then on our website, we have a lot of free resources in the Thought Leaderships tab that will help you move the needle from where you are to where you'd like to be.
Beautiful. I think it's so important to know where we're at so that we can decide where we want to go and start to build a path to get there. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
For making this available and joining us today. And listeners, as we get ready to go to our next commercial break, so remember, 2 minutes just for you, I want you to think about these things. Think about the mindset that you have. And are you remembering to update your operating system, invest in your skills? Do you know kind of where you're at? Maureen has offered a really powerful gift to help you have an assessment and kind of know, so you can determine that and then figure out where you want to go. For those of you that are interested in leaning into that amazing gift, I want to encourage you to go to radiogifts.net, radiogifts.net. So it's a net full of multiple gifts. Put in your name and email address so we can stay in touch. And then scroll down to today's date, May 15th. You will see Maureen's picture and a link to her amazing gift. It is so valuable to know where we're at so we know we can build a path to go where we're called to go. So enjoy these next 2 minutes, and we'll look forward to continuing the conversation in just a moment.
Voice America Women. Your passion starts here.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at SpeakerTalentSearch.com. That's SpeakerTalentSearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
The Voice America Live Events channel is here now to showcase your corporate, individual, or organization's live event. Visit voiceamerica.com/live events to see all of our past live events and find out more. Whether it's a multi-day conference, special speaker, or single-day event, we've got everything to make your event a success. We can do a few hours or a few days. For more information about taking your event to the next level, call Jeff Spinard at 480-294-6417 or email info@voiceamerica.com. Again, that's Jeff Spinard at 480-294-6417 or send us an email to info@voiceamerica.com. Voice America is where you are and where you want to be. Join us around the globe as we broadcast live from some of the most interesting events available. Don't forget to view all our live events, including on-demand access to past events that you may have missed by visiting voiceamerica.com/live events.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com and make the most of an incredible life transformation.
You're tuned to the Voice America Women's Channel, leading the way for your success.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-613-1612. That's 1-866-613-1612. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes and that you got an opportunity to check out that library, the radiogifts.net. I will remind you about that towards the end of the show as well, because there's a whole library of resources there to support you on your journey. But I want to shift our focus a little bit as we're talking about empowerment. We're talking about leadership. We're talking about mindset. Really looking at ways to help you step forward in powerful ways. And we have an amazing expert joining us today, Chris Salem. I wanted to share a little bit of his background with you. He's really going to be helping us look at what's holding us back and how can we step forward, which is really powerful information to know. So I know you're going to enjoy this part of our conversation and just continuing to add valuable information, things to think about to support you on your journey. Chris Salem is a life and business strategist, a speaker and author. He's also one of our amazing radio show hosts here at Voice America, a mindset expert and wellness advocate. And he is passionate about helping you take your business and life to that next level. Please lean in and warmly welcome the amazing Chris Salem to the show. Welcome.
Hey, Rebecca, it's a pleasure to be here.
Glad to have you. Looking forward to our time together here. And would love to start with why. Why is it personally important to you? Why does it matter so much that you dedicate so much time and resources and expertise to helping people just take things to that next level? Why is that important to you?
It's important to me because it's something personally that I went through. I went through a lot of struggle throughout my teen years and my 20s into my early 30s until I found this process out of two concepts that were able to allow me to find the solution to my own internal problems so that I could then adapt new habits, disciplines, and behaviors that would allow me to operate in the solution for sustainable success. And I feel so many people a lot of times struggle in their businesses, their personal lives, and just kind of spinning the wheel. So it's just a calling, at the highest level for me to create awareness either through speaking, through my radio show, one-on-ones to help people solve their own problems, going within to find their solution that aligns with their purpose to move forward towards what that is in their life and business.
Thank you for sharing that. And I love that it's something personally you've experienced and that has led you to serve in so many different ways and so many platforms to help people do the same, really look inside and be able to move forward and live in the solution. I love how you phrase that. And in fact, do you mind explaining that a little bit, what living in the solution is and means?
So what that is that a lot of times people operate their days, day in, day out, in the past and the future simultaneously. They don't realize it, but they're really never present in the moment. And what happens is, in the past and the future, many times the things that we do or don't do are a result of the things that tie back to limited beliefs from our childhood. And this is where what I call managing the problem. So a majority of businesses and people go through life or their life cycle, if it's a business, managing the problem, even though they may not even look at it as a problem. They just know that, they have some moments of success, some letdowns, and it's kind of like a roller coaster ride. And what I talk about the solution is that if anything is going to operate more efficiently, you want to increase production, you want to increase revenue, you want better relationships with others personally and in business, you want optimal wellness. All of these require a commitment to the process, but before we can do that, we have to be able to solve the problem first, so we have a clear foundation to build from there to work towards our solution. So, you look at a manufacturing line, right? And can it produce widgets if there's bottlenecks? Absolutely. It can still produce. It's not going to be of the utmost quality. It's not going to be as efficient. And it may not yield enough revenue as it possibly could. But when you solve the problem to those bottlenecks, you can increase everything in terms of efficiency, productivity, and revenue. It's no different in our personal lives and in our business. It's learning how to be present and to be aware that you're not where you want to be, to work towards solving the problem, then to find the solution moving forward.
So it's sounding like, just as I'm processing what you're sharing, that really having an awareness of what the problem is, but that doesn't become the whole focus. It really is looking at the solution and moving towards that.
Yeah, I mean, the key is to make sure that you're aware that you're not where you want to be. You may not know what the problem is, because there is a process to get to that problem. But once we're able to address the problem, identify the problem, accept it, and then begin to release it, that is then when we can start looking at our purpose and what solution will align with that to move forward. Many times people are putting Band-Aids on things, and we live in a society where we put a Band-Aid on things just to manage the problem. That's why the pharmaceutical industry is a billion-dollar business, because we put a Band-Aid on things. We manage the problem with illnesses and certain ailments, but we don't actually solve the problem. The only thing that's going to solve the problem is ourselves, going within to heal ourselves, and of course using taking care of our bodies through exercise and proper nutrition.
And so, continuing with this conversation, how does this, focusing and not going within, putting Band-Aids on things, not really solving things, how does that hold us back from operating at our full potential?
Well, again, these problems are tied to our limited beliefs. And these limited beliefs go back to childhood. So it doesn't necessarily mean that somebody that may be in childhood didn't go through anything traumatic. Many times if somebody goes through traumatic experiences, it's pretty easily, you could identify where the root cause to those setbacks or those limited beliefs are. But in this case, it could be something. You could have a wonderful childhood, but there's always something. And the key is, by learning how to become more mindful and utilizing a process that I use, you have the ability to go, deep using meditation, journaling, and incorporating certain types of organizational tasks that will allow you in time to identify the root cause to those limited beliefs and those limiting patterns.
And can we expand a little bit on what is mindfulness? So I know you mentioned a few things that can support that, but what is mindfulness?
So mindfulness is simply being present in the moment.
Okay.
It's learning how that when you're in the moment, you have the ability and time to have more clarity. When you have more clarity, you then have the ability to become more decisive. When you become more decisive, and you're confident and you commit to those decisions, you have then the ability to follow through. And with whether that's in your personal life, whether addressing your wellness, your relationships, or your business, or all of the above, mindfulness in the moment allows you to have that sustainability in terms of success, whatever that means to you.
Thank you. And I just want to give our listeners a moment to think about some of what you've been sharing. And so much of this is remembering to pause. And listeners, I want you to note that's built in throughout the show. We're encouraging you to be present, to be mindful, so that as you're learning this information or it's sparking things within you, you're actually getting the opportunity to stop, pause, listen. It's a great idea to have notes beside you, take a journal, whatever it may be, that you're able to capture some of those things as you're being present and getting those insights. And Chris, I would love for us to circle back around to how does this mindfulness, going within, being able to hopefully dig up some of those root causes and move forward, how does that help us stay empowered, and what else can we do to stay empowered?
Well, by learning how to be mindful and having that clarity and being more decisive and following through, it gives us the ability to be laser focused in the moment. Whatever task that may be. You may be laser focused in a conversation with your spouse, with your children, with a hobby that you enjoy doing, reading a book, your business. It could be, focused on working out at the gym and what you eat, anything. That in that time, you're laser focused and committed just to that. You're not multitasking. And with that, the outcome over time is that you'll have more sustainable success in any of those areas by being present and being focused on that process.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
That's empowering. That's what keeps you empowered.
Absolutely, and that we can keep going. And I love that so much of what you're sharing are things that we can do and build into our life, and choosing to be laser focused, choosing to be present. And I feel like when we have choice and we recognize we have choice and we're choosing, that is also empowering too. So I love that you're sharing that. You're giving us some great ways to be able to tap into that and recognize that how important being mindful is, how important being present and laser focused is, that will help you keep moving forward in all areas of your life and your business. So Chris, thank you for sharing. I so appreciate it.
Thank you.
Listeners, we're getting ready for a mindful moment as we step into our next commercial break, 2 minutes just for you. I want you to think about what Chris has shared with you and what is being spoken into your heart and your spirit, ahas, things that are you're becoming aware of as you are being mindful in these next 2 minutes. Be present, breathe deeply, and when you come back, we've got a couple more exciting tips for you. We look forward to talking to you in just 2 minutes.
This is Voice America Women. We are leaders in the forward movement of women's success.
If you've always wanted to take the lead in your life, but you don't believe you are a leader, then it's time to change that mindset. Leadership expert Linda Patton will help you discover the powerful leader that lives within and teach you the leadership skills that will transform your business and your life. Stepping into your leadership brings reality to your vision, and leadership can be learned. Find out more on Leadership Stars every Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time on the Voice America Women's Channel.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at SpeakerTalentSearch.com. That's SpeakerTalentSearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Have you become a member yet? Sign up now to become a member of Voice America. It's always free and easy. Plus, you get to take advantage of some great member benefits. Get unlimited access to millions of hours of on-demand content across all of our channels. Keep track of your favorite episodes, shows, and hosts in your own customizable library. Find out what shows you might be interested in based on your favorites. Plus, you get insider access with our newsletter. Membership gives you more. Sign up at voiceamerica.com and click register at the top right.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
This is the Voice America Women's Channel, where your success is limitless.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-613-1612. That's 1-866-613-1612. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes of mindfulness, that you are taking the opportunity to pause, breathe, listen, be fully present, and laser focused. We can add that in now thanks to the beautiful layers and information that our experts have been sharing with us. And I wanted to remind you of some amazing resources that we have, because part of moving forward, I find, is tapping into experts, resources, and tools that can support us on our journey. So I want to let you know where some of those are so that you can tap in and say yes to those things that are supportive of you. So the first I mentioned earlier, which is the Radio Gifts with an S.net, Radio Gifts with an S.net. This is a library of free tools and resources that you can peruse. You can say yes to as many of them as will support you. So I encourage you to take a look. We have an amazing assessment that Maureen is making available to us today, and you'll find a rich selection of gifts. So I encourage you, make some time, spend a few minutes there, and find tools and resources that will be supportive of you as you're moving forward in powerful and purposeful ways. We also have a television network, RHG TV Network. You can find that at RHG, my initials, tvnetwork.com, and you'll find powerful programs, both television and podcast, that are also very supportive of you. So you have a variety of experts that you can tap into, just like you did today on our radio show. I thank you for leaning in, giving us the opportunity to walk beside you today. And I asked my guests behind the scenes if they could prepare one final thought or tip or suggestion or idea that you could take with you as you go back out into the world. And they both leaned in and said yes. So I'm going to turn the floor over to you, Chris. I'd love for you to share your tip, idea, whatever it was that was on your heart that you wanted to share with our listeners as they go back out into the world.
I always say that, you know, if we're going to make the world a better place, we always have to be an example, and we have to continue to raise the bar in terms of the value that we bring, not only with ourselves, but with the products and services that we offer. But before we could do that, we have to be an example. So we have to be a product of that before we can actually offer that value. So I encourage people that it's not selfish to put yourself first, to master those skills, to do the things that are going to, in time, serve other people as an example by empowering them.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. And Maureen, I would love for you to share as well. I think it's so interesting. You both had a similar vein laid on your heart. So Maureen, I would love for you to share too. It's beautiful.
Thank you. And I am going to build on what Chris said. This idea that we are all here for purpose and we have a lot to contribute to the world. And we do that in part by continuing to invest in ourselves so we can bring our gifts forward. So we talk about innovating how we lead, and I would say innovating how we live, which means investing in spending time on these shows and doing the recommended work so that we can continue to show up as our best selves.
Beautiful. And building that in as a lifestyle, really making sure that we're allowing things to build into us, to pour into us. So thank you. I so appreciate you sharing. And listeners, I want to encourage you to apply what has been spoken into your heart and spirit today. And there has been such an emphasis, a reoccurring theme of remembering to take care of you, of remembering to stop and pause, be mindful, be present, go within. That so much of what can be echoed out into the world starts within. And building that time in your life, a rhythm in your life where you're able to keep growing, where you're able to have things pour into you and get the support that you need as you're going forward. I was talking with someone the other day, and they're like, I have so many things pulling at my heart, so many things I'm trying to do. There's just not enough hours in the day, and how do I find more hours? And they had this kind of energy of frantic energy a little bit. I need to do this, and I need to do that, and there's so many demands on my time. And I asked them could you just get everything out of you, put it on paper, what you're doing today, what's happening this week, what are you trying to do in a 24-hour period. And they got everything out. They started putting it on paper, and then I had them assign times, and this was not their favorite part. So I had them assign times, how much time they were spending on each of those things. And we discovered they were trying to do 36 hours of things in 24 hours, and they forgot to include sleep, meals, exercise, and travel. And I think many of us are doing this. We're not even remembering to put ourselves on the plate and in the center. If we're thinking about a buffet, if anyone has ever gone to a food buffet before or a potluck, if you ever do that and you get a plate, everyone has the same size plate. And so I think of a plate as a 24-hour period. And we go along and we're taking this and we're saying yes to that and yes to this. And they always start with the vegetables, if you've noticed that. And somewhere at the end of the line, there's dessert somewhere. And I know there's chocolate cake somewhere there. So as I'm saying yes and I'm trying this and I'm adding that to my plate, things are rolling off, like cucumbers and olives and different things are rolling off the plate. So I get more careful about the things that I'm adding on as we go down the line. And eventually the plate is full and I can't fit anything else on it. And I ran out of room for the chocolate cake. So whatever that chocolate cake is for you, that thing that's important, that thing that is rejuvenating to you, that thing that supports you, I want to invite you to start with you. Making sure you are in the center of the plate, that there's room for you to be nourished and say yes to all those things that are supportive to you, that you can lean into. And in the center, you're not in jeopardy of rolling off the plate. Because if you roll off, you're not able to bring forward all those things that you're called to bring forward, that is on your heart to bring into the world. So I invite you, as our guests have been echoing and sharing, to remember to put yourself in the center of the plate, to remember to take care of you so that you can serve from a place of overflowing, not from a place of depletion. And an extra credit bonus opportunity. I like extra credit and stars. I don't know if anyone likes gold stars. I do. I like gold stars and extra credit bonus opportunities. I invite you to actually keep open space on your plate. Build some extra time and cushion every single day so that you can choose what you want to say yes to throughout the day. Should that amazing opportunity come up, you can lean in and say yes. You've already got the room on your plate. Because you are a gift. There is nobody else just like you in this world. You are absolutely needed for such a time as this. So I want to invite you that wherever you go, whatever you do, may you choose to bloom where you are planted and shine. Have an amazing week, everyone. Talk to you next time.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter, next Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific on the Voice America Women's Channel. And join us for a replay of the show every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Pacific on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine